Hello, and welcome back to Donkey Kong Country Returns. This is episode 2. In the first episode, we did the first 3 levels. Speaking of the first episode, as of right now, it's currently the most viewed thing on my channel with around 80 views, which in the grand scheme of things, I guess isn't a lot, but for me that's a lot. So thank you to all who watched that episode and enjoyed it. Hopefully you get the same enjoyment out of this one. Without further ado, let's start level 4, Sunset Shore, which if you haven't seen, this is going to be a treat for your eyes. It's very stylized, but it's very nice style, as you might be already able to see. It's sort of, I guess, abstract in a way. The only color, it's very colorful, but the only very bright thing in the foreground is the red of Donkey Kong and Diddy. Everything else is a shadow, a silhouette. And the music, once it gets into the main part, even now, it's going to be an excellent rendition of the main theme. Whenever anybody talks about Donkey Kong Country, I feel, or at least returns in Tropical Freeze, they always mention these levels, the silhouette levels, sunset levels. I don't know if they have a particular name, but I've heard a variety of different things. But here's that main theme. It's all jazz. Jazz is usually pretty cool, if done right. As with any form of music, if done wrong, this can be not so great, needless to say. Here's an interesting thing. If you saw the background, there's 3 rocks. I'm gonna get this heart real quick. That when you get close or far enough in the stage, they come together to form a banana. If you stand on this platform long enough, the banana will explode and grant us some nice rewards, such as banana coins and bananas, which is all of them. Which is not a bad thing. Banana coins are going to be very useful. At least for unlocking some levels, and if you need extra lives. Here's a little cool, I guess, Easter egg of sorts, because there's not really a required collectible down here. Some nice little ants just traveling through the passages, or their passages. Little details like that, I feel, is what makes... I mean, not just this game, Nintendo as a whole, they love to do little details like that, and part of the reason I really like their games. Here's another one of those platforms, except no banana in sight, just some ships in the background, but the background will grow very bright, and instead of us exploding, as you might think from that very bright, I guess, I don't know what the word would be, very bright light, it just explodes the floor beneath us and we can get some nice rewards. We do have to head back a little bit to get this end, otherwise we'll miss it. That happens occasionally in these levels. Actually more common than you would think, because of some puzzle pieces or bonus rooms. We'll just skip past a certain section. We'll have to travel back a little sometimes. It is harder to tell which areas are going to have a secret alcove. I didn't actually mention this. These are mimics. I don't know why I didn't mention that the first time. They will disguise themselves as bushes and will try and run at you at a pretty decent pace compared to the other enemies. To me, at least, they seem to like double the speed of a Tiki Goon. I mean, I've been showcasing it, but the platforms, if these platforms, ones that are vertical or slightly slanted, will turn horizontal if you just pound the ground, and then there's a collectible up top that usually is something nice. Sometimes it's just bananas. Get our final Kong letter, and we're still missing one puzzle piece, I believe. But not to worry, we didn't miss it. Double ones work the same way, which we're also early in the stage. These rings, as we're also early in the stage, I just keep forgetting to mention things. If you collect all of them in the ring, you will get another reward. Usually a banana bunch or banana coin. If we head on here before pounding down that, I almost got hit. I'm actually not sure how I didn't. We can collect our final puzzle piece and move to the final section of the stage. Into the mouth of the beast. A few gourds. I'm pretty sure that's what they're called. I had to correct that last time, or I had to put that in the last video because I didn't actually remember. But yeah, here's the end of the stage. We should have gotten every collectible. Let's time this right, get the DK. Probably won't get as lucky with the lives as we did in the first episode, but that's alright. Got plenty of lives last episode, I think like 30 out of a slot barrel crate. But yeah, it's a very stylized and very nice looking level. Especially if you haven't seen it before. We're not actually gonna, well we can, but we're not going to go to 1-6 because we skipped past 1-5. 1-4 was the level we unlocked with the map key, but 1-5 is still the level I'm going to do. As is every level, I'm not gonna skip any of them. Including the special ones. Canopy Cannons, as you might guess by the name itself, this one's going to include quite a lot of barrels. As we will see shortly. Roll on through here. Here's our first of many in this level. Now, I don't know what was wrong, because I always play through all of these levels before I record them, just so I make sure I'm not missing any collectibles, but I can't guarantee I won't. But I always try and play through them, and so I can see all the enemies that are in there, so I can make sure I have all the enemy names. But again, I do still miss stuff, as will always happen. But I missed a puzzle piece, I think, twice. Two playthroughs through the level before I actually found it. It's not this one, which I'll show, whoops, very quickly. Which you might think it's this one. It's actually a pretty easy one to spot. But I think it's understandable why I missed it. Now, 2 times might be a little less understandable, but I think there's, did I get the, yes, okay, we're good. So, if we pound down here, we can go to the bonus room. This one's a little bit more difficult than the previous rooms, but still not too bad. It's just a little harder. It's easier to screw up. You just have to take your time. You have plenty of time to do this one. You don't have to worry about the time. I actually did that quite quickly. Usually that one takes me longer. Not gonna complain though. But here we get to the one I missed. I just continued forward. What you actually have to do, you have to go backwards, just like the one Kong ladder. See, this is where the bonus room was. That's the one we just went down. The other puzzle piece is right here, and I missed that twice. But we're not gonna miss it this time, as I know where it is now. Something interesting about these here, and I think it's in other levels, but it's not usually. You may think, you know, there's a pit here, why would you jump into it? Which, there's no real reason to, but if you do, you're actually saved by a barrel. You don't actually lose a life, which is kind of interesting since in most other spots, you would typically lose a life. Here's some more of that timing-based stuff. Hopefully I can get this life. Nice. Now this one's the most important. Have to make sure to get this Kong letter. That is unfortunate. Here. I'll showcase what I was talking about last episode. Where if you lose a life, the collectibles will, actually no, I won't be able to showcase that. I was talking about that in the terms of puzzle pieces. But it's not too far back. We're right back here, which is why I'm not too worried about it. And we don't actually, it's a net loss of 0 lives because we got the life previously. Didn't miss it this time. Now we can move on. Yeah, no, we're not missing anything. Good. But this level heavily showcases the timing-based stuff. Now, this one's not as inconspicuous as the last one, where you have to actually shoot yourself into a pit. You can see a banana up there. If you shoot yourself towards that banana, you're rewarded with a puzzle piece. This one is more suspicious, and you can figure it out reasonably. Usually wouldn't shoot yourself into a pit. But after a while, you just figure it out. This is actually new enemies, sort of. It's not a new name, per se, but it is, sort of, I guess. It's a big screaming pillar. That's it. I haven't found any other name for it. That's what it seems to be called. They also appear in the Donkey Kong Country track in Mario Kart as well. But they don't appear in too many levels in this game. This is a very hard one to get the DK. Usually I find myself trying to just shoot through the spike thing. Here, let's see if I can time it. Nope, that's bad. A life, that's alright. It's just hard to time because you do get delayed a little bit when you get a stun, and it's even harder to time if you try and time it with the bouncing of it. That's alright. Can't be perfect every time, I suppose. It's the first one we missed the DK on. Now we get to move into one of the most notorious kind of stages in these games. It's the minecart stages. There's actually quite a few collectibles in this stage, though, that aren't part of the minecart. And some of them are very easily missable, is what I was trying to say. We can already see our first one back here, as shown by that little intro there. Don't need Diddy, but we'll throw it anyways. Why not? Let's pound down this. I don't know if it's... I still don't know what that is. It's like a drum, I guess. Here we get our bonus room, very early in the stage. Which this one is a standard platforming one. It's not too bad if you know what you're doing. Although the timer can be a little tight if you're not right on top of things. If you miss your jumps too many times, it gets a little bit more difficult. Oh, you can't grab that. I thought you might be able to, but no such luck. Can roll right to the middle of the stage though and grab that puzzle piece. Here we go. Moving into the main section of the stage. You may think, oh, let's go forward. But no, you have to pound through here. And down into the depths of the mine we go. Or the mushroom mine, I guess? Lots of mushrooms. But here's this minecart. Some of the collectibles, like I was mentioning earlier, are quite easily missable. And hopefully I don't have any trouble with that. You sort of have to know where they are in advance, otherwise you're going to be replaying the level or losing a life purposefully to replay a stage. These guys, these flying ones, are Tiki Torques, I believe, and I'm not sure what the little moles are called. I'll have to put that in after. Oh, okay, that was close. Still got it. Now here's gonna be a tricky one. You have to have good reflexes to get that final puzzle piece. And yes, even though we're barely into the stage, it's not too long if you can execute everything the first time. Let's try. Yes, nice life. This is one of the harder ones to get. I've missed that a few times. We still have one more. Or it might be Tiki Buzz. I can't remember. There's a flying... I think it's Tiki... I don't know. I feel like both of the enemies I said are actual enemies, but I can't remember which one those are called. And here we are. We're already at the end of the stage. I might actually get to finish this first world today. This one I should be able to time. No problem. Get some banana coins. Once we get back in the main menu, you'll see a new stage open up that wasn't previously able to be seen. Which we will actually be tackling on first before we tackle the boss. The boss is up here, which is Muggley's Mound. But we have to go to Platform Panic. Which this is a level, if you can, it's signified by the K, that unlocks every time you get all the Kong letters in a world. These are some of the harder stages in the game, although all the stages get pretty difficult at the end of the game. You just have to have some decent platforming. It's not too difficult, but it can be a little tricky at times, especially if you have Diddy, you should be fine. It makes some of the platforming easier. You get a little bit of a hover. Here's something I can now showcase, hopefully. While I grab this puzzle piece. Oh no, I screwed it up. So, I was not counting. But after a certain amount of enemies, you will get the banana coins. But after a certain amount of enemies, you'll start to get lives, and that stacks. After you get the first life, every sequential enemy will also give you a life. to let this pillar actually fall to get that puzzle piece. And yet again here, except it's needed to progress the stage rather than to get a puzzle piece. Let's not fall. This one's a harder-ish one to get, but it's not too difficult. Because the, I guess, tire falls pretty quickly. Did I? No, okay. For some reason I thought I missed the one that was in the container at the beginning of the stage, but I don't believe I did it. When I first played the game, I was struggling a little bit to get past that section there, because I thought you had to hold or press jump, you know, to get the bigger jump, when instead you can just walk off. I didn't struggle too much, but it was a little bit tough. We gonna get this first try? Because it does seem like it. Yep, nice. Not too bad at all. Let's collect our orb. First of, 8, right? Yeah, I was right. Cool. And I didn't mention, but there's no Kong letters in the Kong stages. Kong letters are only in the stages that are not Kong stages, and not boss stages. Speaking of boss, let's head into Mowgli's Mound. This is our first boss of the Let's Play, and the boss is Mowgli, controlled by, I believe, Kalimba? Which we will see after we beat the boss. If you don't already have Diddy, you can get a barrel. It's pretty common in these boss stages. There he is. That's Mowgli. And there's Kalimba. If I'm getting the name right, which I should be. And we have a, albeit small, we have an audience. You just have to jump over Mowgli, and if you don't, you will get eaten, but you only lose 1 heart. Unlike standard Mario bosses or other video game bosses, whoops, is 3 phases, but there is 3 hits per phase. So now he'll turn a different color, this time orange, and he'll have a little bit of a faster movement in all of his attacks. Whoops, I did it again. Fortunately, that does not damage me. There we go. And now on to the final phase. He's red. That's because he's angry. Or something. There we go. Not too bad. Pose for the camera. Oh, are you dizzy? Here, we'll get rid of your dizziness for you. Just punch it right out of you. And that's gonna be, as you read right there, it says world clear. That's gonna be our first world completely. We got everything done. The only thing left to do, which I will be doing next episode as I finished up this world, we're gonna be starting time trials, which can be more difficult than the actual stage. So that'll be interesting, but I do hope you'll enjoy. I'll explain how that works more in depth on the next episode. Next world is going to be beach, but we're not actually going to start that today. We're going to wait till the next episode, as I've said, I think 3 to 4 times in the past minute. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you next time.